Yeah, I promised myself that I'll be doing this once in a while, just to make things easy for people, because I get a lot of calls once in a while. People get to talk to me, they ask questions and all that about how to start a business, how to live their life, and how to build relationship. I just told myself, yeah, I want to be doing this once in a while so that a lot of people can benefit from it. I know God has been really faithful to me, in my business, in my life, and in my relationship with people. There are some basic principles that I've been applying, which are tested and proven. And I believe that if people get to know about these principles and actually apply it in their life, it will help them in the business, it will help them in their life, it will help them in a relationship. Why do I always keep hammering on business, life, and relationship? Because the reason is because business is your soul, your life is your spirit, that's the center of your being, and relationship is your body, because without the spirit, soul, and body, you cannot live, you cannot function. The three, they work together. Sometimes I hear people saying that separate business, let's do business, let's leave every other thing. No, it's not true. Business, life, and relationship to go together. Can you do business without life? It's not possible. Can you do business without having a relationship with people? No, it's not possible. Do you understand? Can you live without business? No, it's not possible. You need the basic necessities of life. You need money. You need to create value for people. So without that, you cannot function. Like I always say, people, does money work on the street? No, money does not work on the street. People go with money, so you can't do without people. So the three go together. So when I talk about business, life, and relationship, I'm actually talking about your soul, your spirit, and your body. The three go together. They work together as one. You cannot separate them. Though they work, they are independent of each other, but they are dependently depending on each other. They are independently depending on each other. They work together as one. Let me acknowledge some people that are watching. Demi, I can see you. Queen Omokegbe, I appreciate you. Giordano, I can see you. Felice Dalitin, I can see you. I'm doing freelance today. I'm not going to be talking on a particular thing. I want to entertain questions. I want to entertain comments. I want us to talk about life. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about relationships, because these are things that you cannot do without. You cannot do without. You cannot separate them. They're inseparable. You need to know how to strike a balance. A lot of people are not making it because they focus on just one particular aspect, of these, and some people, they focus on just business alone. I don't take time to take care of their life and to build relationship with people. They tell you it's just business, make money. But the truth is that if you are successful in business, and you focus on business alone, when you make the money, you also need to share with people. You also need to relate with people. Do you understand? But if you don't have good health, if you don't have life, how are you going to enjoy the money? You see what I mean? They are inseparable. You cannot separate them. Just that the way you cannot separate your spirit, your soul, and your body, the same way you cannot separate business, life, and relationship. What you need to do is just to strike a balance. Learn to strike a balance. A lot of people, we are living imbalanced life. Our life is not balanced. That is why we are not stable in business. We are not stable in life, and we're not stable, in relationship. So you need to strike a balance. So that's why each time I talk, I always talk about business, I talk about life, and I talk about relationship. I talk about relationship. Yeah, the two, they go together. You cannot separate them. You cannot separate them. So if you have questions, you want to ask concerning just this small introduction, because like I said, I'm doing freelance today. I'll be doing once in a while. People can call and ask questions. I have a lot of people. Recently, before I always sleep, I leave my phone on. But I was out for some time now. I'll be putting off my phone between 11 and 4, maybe 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Because I get a lot of calls in the night. Now I told myself I want to be doing this once in a while. Where if you have any question, you can throw it at me. If you have any issues that you think that we can rub minds together, we can discuss, and trash out issues. You're seeing me direct. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me also acknowledge some people that are joining. I can see my friend or joining me in Magic. I can see you're watching. Let me use this medium to tell you that you're one person that I respect so much. You're one person I respect so much. You really influenced my life. I can remember those days when I was doing Kingdom News. It was really tough. Those were my days of little beginning. I know how you used to, assist me, introduce me to people. You even collect a lot of the magazines and pay for people, and I was just doing the distribution. I can never forget those things that you did for me those days. And you're still one of my customers, and I really appreciate you. Or joining me, I'm talking about you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And for people out there, sometimes when you see somebody who is starting out in life, whatever you can do, as long as the person is journeying, whatever you can do, try as much as possible to assist the person. That's what Ojolimi did for me. Ojolimi was very helpful. Very helpful. I can tell you that. I can say it publicly. He was very helpful, and he's still helping me, and he's one of my customers today. Thank you so much. I can see, wow, Evangeline Ifunaya, thanks for watching. I can see Princess K, thanks for watching. This is Bruno's Place, or Bruno Akina Life. That reminds me, there's something I used to do. There was a time I used to publish a magazine, and the back of the magazine there's a small column that I write, where I write, my feelings, I write about things that I experience, my experiences in life, and my thoughts. I used to call it Bruno, I'm not a dog. It was that thing that made, one of the things that made the magazine very popular. Bruno, I'm not a dog. Then I share with people that talk about why I say I'm not a dog. Because there was a time, really, it was when I tell people my name, they used to laugh at me. They used to kind of joke, don't you know Bruno is a dog's name? Why will it be bearing a dog's name? That was the part I used to be very angry about it, until one day I was reading the Bible, and I came across a scripture that said it's not good to take the children's bread and give it to the little dogs. I'm paraphrasing. And the woman said, even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Then I paused for a while to really examine that scripture. I looked at it very well. What I got from that scripture was that a dog can be converted, to even eat from the master's table. But a dog cannot eat from the master's table. It has to be converted to eat from the master's table. So when I flipped that word dog, it gave me a dog, a God. Just look at the word dog, D-O-G. If you flip it to the other side, it gives you G-O-D. Then I remember I read in the scripture that Ye are gods. God gives birth to a god. Do you understand? So the devil was trying to make me look as if, make me feel that, you know, because of my name, you know, that because I was bearing a dog's name, you know, that that I was a dog. Maybe that was why I was actually behaving like a dog that time. But I thank God for the opening of eyes. I thank God for understanding, you know. Now I know that I am not a dog. I am a God, you know. So this Bruno is a new Bruno, is a born again Bruno. You know, he used to be Bruno, the old Bruno, the dog, but this is Bruno, the God, you know, born of God, the Almighty God. So that's one of the, you know, the things that turned me around, you know. So I no longer see myself as a dog. I see myself as a God, you know, as a child of the living God, the Most High God. So I think like God. I think, you know, like my Father, you know. So it affects the way I do my business, the way, you know, I live my life, and the way I relate with people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I see, right, so once in a while I put up stuff, you know, and I hashtag Bruno, I'm not a dog. So this Bruno is not a dog. This Bruno is a God. And Bible says, ye are gods, you know. I'm a small letter G God, you know, born of the big letter G God. I'm a God. So let me also acknowledge some of my friends that are watching. I can see Kajati Aslam. Wow, this is one of my encourager. This is somebody who is always, you know, guiding me, you know, always, you know, he's very daring. He tells me something, you know, he give it to me straight, you know. Kajati, I want to let you know, I listen to some of the things that you say to me, you know. And I also see you as one of my distant mentors, you know. I thank you for the role that you're playing in my life, you know. All those words, kind words that you say to me, it goes a long way to encourage me and to make me, you know, be a performer in the things that I'm doing today. There were so many people, you know, that when I told them I was going to go into hairstyling, it was, why? How can you leave a bank, you know? How can you leave a job that you are earning so much, you know, that has given you a kind of class, a kind of recognition, and you want to go and do a roadside job, you want to go and do an ordinary job, you know? And I can remember one lady said, over her dead body, why would you go and do something like that? But see, I thank God, you know, I didn't listen to them. And I see some of them today, and they tell me, you know, that they are happy that I did not listen to them, you know. But you see how God has taken an ordinary thing and has made it extraordinary. And through the platform, we are taking ordinary people and making them extraordinary people. Sometimes, you know, I look at our platform. I look at Bruno's Place Unisex Salon. You know, it's not just the money. It's not the customers. You know, but I look at the internal customers. I look at my staff. You know, I see transformation. I see they are happy. They are enjoying what they are doing. You know, now suddenly their job is becoming meaningful to them. You know, it gives me joy. Sometimes I look at the smiles on their faces, I see the laughter, you know, and the height of the moment for me is at the end of the month, when we pay salaries. I'm always looking forward to the end of the month. I know a lot of employers, they don't want to see the end of the month, but I'm one employer that's always looking forward to the end of the month. But that's when I get to see my staff, you know, really happy, you know, when they collect their pay, you know, and all that. It gives me joy. It gives me joy. So I can see the works that God is using Bruno's Place to do, you know, put smiles on people's faces, transforming lives and all that. The other day I was talking to I was talking to one of my staff. I was just asking, you know, I know how much you're earning, I know what you're doing, you know, and all that. Are there other people, you know, that that are dependent on you, you know? And he said, you know, I have, you know, I paid for accommodation. She pays for accommodation for the mom. She takes care of her younger sister's school fees, you know. Can you imagine, even from what, you know, the little that she's getting? So what am I saying? Bruno's Place is not just, you know, reaching out to just the staff, our internal customers, but, you know, by extension, we're also reaching out to their families, you know, to people that are depending on them. So when I say we have over 100 staff right now, if you actually look at, for every staff, there are 1 or 2 people depending on them. Let's just assume they have like 2 people depending on them. Times 2 by 100, that's over 200 staff, over 200 people that are reaching out to. You understand? So, and to even think that this is a job that people were trying to discourage me from doing, an ordinary job, and to even think of the fact that this was somebody that was asked to resign from the bank, and 3 of his colleagues died because they couldn't handle the shock, you know. And to even think that this ordinary job is not giving hope, you know, is not putting food on people's table, you know, and you know, and is reaching out to a lot of people, you know. I want to say this, you know, somebody is not I want to say this so that people also know that what we're doing in Bruno's Place is not just making hair, it's more than hair. Somebody called me yesterday, said, Bruno, there are some things that you do, why don't you start, you know, an NGO? And I said, look, we have an NGO, but it's not the way people do NGO outside, you know. It's not okay, a registered NGO, you know. It's our own way of giving back, you know. But I noticed that, you know, I told myself, if I'm going to do corporate social responsibility, I have to start with in my immediate staff. And this was something that I had issues with when I was working in the bank those days, you know, because I was in brand management, you know. I was in strategic brand management, you know. And I always tell people, we make money, we declare as a bank, we declare profit and all that, but meanwhile some of the staff, you know, they are suffering. Do you understand? And they go through a lot. They go through a lot to get to work, to their place of work and all that. Then I was saying, okay, if we really want to do corporate social responsibility, why don't we start with the inside, you know? Why don't we start with our staff? Why don't we start with the environment where our staff are living? Why don't we try to make life better for them, for their family, for their community, you know? But I was not giving audience, you know. And I would say that's one of the reasons, because I was very forceful about it. One of the reasons, really, you know, because one of the reasons why I was rejected from the banking industry. But today in my business, that's what I do. You know, I'm starting from my start. Now we have some single mothers in our midst, you know, who are working for Bruno's Place. You know, I decided to take them in, you know, because it's an opportunity for me to add value to them, you know, to make life easy for them. I was talking to one recently. I said, oh, but I noticed that she was bringing her daughter to work, and I asked her what is the problem. She said she doesn't have anybody to leave the child with when she's coming to work, you know. And you know, Bruno's Place is a very corporate environment, so I try not to be too strict, you know, because I try to be flexible. So I allowed that for, you know, for like about 2 months, you know, just to observe her and to observe the child. So I could remember one day I was talking, I called her, I said, look, what about this child? How old? And the child is about 4 years. And I asked her, why don't she put her in a school, or has she put her in a school before? She said no, a 4 years old kid. And when you hear the way she talks, you know, she talks very intelligently. She doesn't even talk her age, just because she's mixing up with adults, you know, and all that. That she listens to adults, she watches their behavior and all that. Now she's talking like an adult. So I told her, no, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna put her in school. So as a brand, we've taken as our responsibility, you know, to support, you know, her school fees. We do that. We have almost like 4 kids now that Bruno's Place is supporting their school fees, you know, because I personally believe that every child deserves primary and secondary school education. If you can take a child through primary school education, take a child through secondary school education, and you teach them handwork, they will sort out the rest for themselves, you know. Those are the basic things that you need to put in child. They will support the rest. It's not everybody have the opportunity that I have, you know. My parents sent me to primary school, to secondary school, and they sent me to university. But it's not everybody that have that opportunity. It's not everybody that have the opportunity to, you know, go to a formal school. You know, you can also learn in an informal school. That's why, okay, that's also bring me to, you know, I'm freelancing today. I'm just talking, you know, and I know if you listen, you will benefit from what I'm saying. It's freelance, you know. I don't have a particular topic I'm talking about. I just want to talk, you know. That brings me to how we've structured Bruno's Place. We've structured Bruno's such that even if you didn't go to school at all, and you are opportune, you know, to meet me or to come to our platform, by the time you pass through, you know, what we have, you know, you can almost compete with somebody who went to a formal school. Because the first thing that we teach, you know, now we have apprenticeship school, you know, where we train people not just how to make hair, you know, we train them, you know, how to do business. We train them how to live life, you know, and we train them how to build relationship. You remember that's where I started from. That is about business, life, and relationship. You know, we train them how to do business. We train them how to live life. We train them how to build relationship. Always put it in their mind. Try to impress in their heart that money does not work on the street. People go with money. So if you want to make money, you know, you have to learn how to build relationship with people. Do you understand? Because if you learn how to build relationship with people, you know, people will like you. They will be emotionally attached to you, and they'll be willing to patronize you. Not really because of what you're doing, just because of who you are. So we've put a structure in Bruno's Place that when we take people through this, if you pass through this structure that we have, you know, through our system, you know, you will be refined. And when you come out, you know, if you decide to go to school, you just go to school just because to fulfill all righteousness, you know, just for you to have the certificate. There are some things that today, you know, that I know just because I am, you know, running Bruno's Place, you know, there are some things, you know, I was taught in school, but it didn't really make any sense to me. I just crammed those stuff just to pass exam and also to please my parents, you know. But today, you know, through Bruno's Place, I've been able to, you know, because I practicalize it. See, some people learn from, you know, they learn from practicing, you know, from doing practical stuff than theoretical stuff, you know. I would say I am one of those people, but I didn't know, you know, but I know now. So like I said, if we take you through Bruno's Place, if we take you through Bruno's Place and you pass through the structure, you will discover that, you know, you will know so much that you can compete with those people out there who went from school. You won't have anything to lose because we teach you standard, you know, we help you bring out the creativity in you, and at the same time we teach you how to package, how to sell yourself, you know, how to, you know, present yourself to people so that you will be acceptable. And we also teach you how to analyze. We teach you numbers, we teach you figures. You understand? Then those are the things we teach you. We teach you how to negotiate, we teach you how to collaborate, we teach you how to have your own story. Like I tell people, I have so many people in Bruno's Place now who have their own personal stories. We have cleaners who have turned stylists. We have security guards who have turned barbers, stylists, and they are doing very well. We have people who are from broken homes, and people look down on them. They never thought they could amount to anything, but today they're in Bruno's Place. They are doing very well. I could remember there was one lady, when she came, and they were just calling her, they were adding slow to her name because she was very slow, really. She was taking time to pick up, and I could remember some of these supervisors were saying, this lady, we should let her go. I said, no, everybody, we are not all the same. There are some people that learn very fast. There are some people that are very slow, let's just give her time. But today, I'm happy they don't call her, they don't add slow to her name again. In fact, they add sharp to her name because she's doing very well. There are some people you just need to just give them a platform, just give them opportunity, then give them a little time, and with time, they will come out. They'll come out. I'm telling the truth. They will come out. Okay, when I started Bruno's Place in Ikeja City, I told people it didn't take me under 1 year, precisely 7 months. We're doing so well. We're doing so well. But when I started Jabi Lake Mall, it took over 2 years before the business picked up. The same thing with human beings. It's just the same thing with business, and the same thing with relationship. You see what I mean? You cannot separate business life and relationship. That sometimes, you just within a short time you get a result. There are other times you need to spend a little while. But the bottom line is that you have to be committed. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing, no matter how painful, no matter how stressful it is. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. That's what business, life, and relationship is about. I hope you learn something. Like I said, I'm just freelancing. I want to try to make things easy, for people. Life is easy. We are the one that is making it difficult. We make it difficult, make life so difficult. It's so easy. It's so easy. If you can just understand the Trinity, if you can just understand, your makeup, if you can just know yourself, you understand that you are made up of spirit, soul, and body. That your business, life, and relationship. And if you just learn how to strike the balance, you discover that life is easy. It's very easy. It's very easy. Very, very easy. If I'm not doing Bruno's Place, if I'm not doing hairstyling, I can pick up another thing, and I will still be very, very successful. I can guarantee you that. I can tell you that, because I have come to realize, that what we call purpose is not purpose. We try to make our career our purpose. So because of that, we limit ourselves, to a particular thing. You see somebody who will say, okay, I'm called to be a banker. I worked in the bank, but I wasn't called to be a banker. Banking, as at that time, was my career, but it wasn't my purpose. Do you understand? It wasn't my purpose. That was the time I used to publish a magazine. That was the time I used to do graphics. I was into printing and all that. That was the time I used to dance. I've done a lot of things. I thought that was purpose. It wasn't. No, purpose is you creating value for people. People pay for value. And also giving glory to God. And also knowing how to make yourself happy, you know, make yourself be satisfied, you know, with what you're doing. That's purpose. So what you need to do is just to look for a career that you can express purpose, you know, that you can express purpose. So I can express purpose through hairstyling. I can express it through banking. I can express it through even publishing a magazine or publishing books. I can express it through this, something I'm trying to build now. This is how Bruno Place started. You know, it started small. You know, now this my talk show, this TV talk show, you know, it's just starting small. It's something I'm actually building. You know, it's starting small. It might not be perfect now, but that's how Bruno Place started. I tell people I used to pay for a shop for 1,500 naira monthly, but today in one of my shop I pay, you know, about 1.5 million naira monthly. You can imagine somebody that was 1,500 naira monthly, you know, and now 1.5 million monthly. You know, one of the shops, I have more than one shop. You know, you can understand. You can start small. You should start small the same way I'm starting small like this. You do understand? So take life, you know, gently. Don't rush. Don't rush it. Where I can see a lot of people watching. Oh, I can see my big brother. Daily, I know you might not want me to say this, but I will say this. I will say this. Daily, I will say it. You've been very, very helpful. You've been, I can't forget. I could remember those days, you know, when I was working in the bank, you know, it was tough. When I was asked to resign, you know, I told people, I mentioned it earlier, that some people that died because they couldn't handle the shock. I'm alive today, Daily, because of you. I remember all those encouraging words, how you supported me, you gave me money, you know, to go and start up some things, you know, and all that. But you can see how God has turned, you know, things around, you know. And each time I see you on Facebook, you know, and I see you watching me, you know, I'm very sure you'll be very proud that Bruno, your boy, you know, is doing exploits. You know, Daily, I appreciate you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I can see Olufemi Onalihon, I can see you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I'm not talking on a particular topic today. You know, I'm just freelance. I'm just talking. You know, I'm just talking. You know, and I was saying in Bruno's Place, we put a structure. It's not just a unisex salon. It's more than a salon. We put a structure that if anybody comes to Bruno's Place, even if you didn't go to school, you know, just come. We'll just take you through our structure. You know, by the time you come out, you can't compete with anybody. You can use terminologies, you can do business, you can live life, you know, you can, because I teach them things that I've studied in the bank, things that I've studied in school, you know, my experiences in the bank, you know. I also went to a branding school, and I've been to a lot of leadership schools and all that. I've attended a lot of seminars. You know, I've been able to suppress them, you know, and make it easy, you know, for my staff. And that's what I'm trying to do through this talk show. I'm trying to do through Facebook, just to make people easy, make life easy for people. You know, it's very easy. Life is easy. It's not hard. We are the one that is making it hard. You know, it's people that are making it very hard for others. You understand? It's easy. I like to tell people my secrets. I don't hide it. I've had people telling me, why don't you write book? Why don't you write? You will make a lot of money writing books. All these thoughts you are putting on Facebook, you are saying, why don't you put it in a book? You understand? But I'm looking for the easiest way, you know, to pass it across to you. You know, that what you just need for you to be successful is just for you to be aware of yourself, to know who you are. You know, that you're made of spiritual and body. You need to know who you are. You need to be aware. You need to know. You need to know your moods. You know, you need to know, you know, your instincts. You know, you need to know your behavior. You need to because the truth is that you reflect on what you do. Anything that you do is a reflection of you. Is a reflection. It's a reflection. So you need to know who you are. You know, you need to be self-aware. You know, you need to know everything about you, because you are the best judge of yourself. Do you understand? That's why you need to get information. You need to have knowledge, self-knowledge. Then the other thing that you need to do, you need to also know what they call self-regulation. You know, that's why I have God. You need to have methods. You need to look up to a being, you know, that will regulate you, that will correct you. You understand? You need to know that, you know. Then also you also need to have what they call empathy, you know, for people. You know, because if you know who you are, if you know your moods, you will know how to relate with people. You understand? You know how to empathize with people. You know how to put yourself in the place of people. Do you understand? I mentioned some names, you know. I'm talking about Dele or Jolly Me, Imagine, and people who assisted me, you know, because they were doing very well and they're still doing very well today. But they put themselves in my shoes, so they reached out to me, you know. They empathize. They didn't sympathize with me, you know. When you sympathize with people is when you just give them, you know, crumbs and all that. But these were people who, they didn't just give me money, you know. They encouraged me. They're the one that were telling me, Bruno, you have something good in you. You need to, you know, push it. And they did everything possible to support me, and that's where I am today. So you also need to know how to empathize with people. And the last one, you must have what I call social skills. Social skills, your ability to relate with people. Once you have all this, you know, these are what you use, you know, like I said, you know, to say whatever you're doing. This is what people say in business, in Bruno's Place today. Do you understand? This is what people say in Bruno's Place. You know, in a nutshell, I'm talking about molds, instincts, and my behavior, my actions. You know, these are what reflect in the way I relate with my staff, in the way, you know, I relate with customers, in the way I relate with my landlords, in the way I relate with, you know, with my stakeholders. It reflects. I'm telling you the truth. It's very simple. It's very simple. So if you have this, you discover it becomes very easy for you to negotiate with people. It becomes very easy for you to collaborate with people. It becomes very easy for you anytime you find yourself in a situation, you know, you don't see it as bad. Do you understand? You see how you can make a story out of it. You see how you like I always tell people, your story is not what happened to you, it is what you make out of what happens to you. Do you understand? If you're somebody, you have self-awareness, you know, you have self-regulation, you have empathy, and at the same time you have social skills. When you find yourself in a situation, you don't see the negative side of it. You always see the positive side of it. I'm telling you, you can turn things around. You know, you like I said, I am not a dog. I used to think like a dog, but today I am a God. And I'm also telling you that you're a God. You understand? So you don't see negativity, you see positivity, you know. And these are the things that you bring to bear in what you do. These are the things you bring to bear in what you do. You know, if you can run a small business, you can run it well, you can run a nation. I'm telling you the truth. In fact, you can rule the world. I'm telling you the truth. It's the same basic principles. It takes a personal brand to drive a corporate brand. So if you can handle small scale business, you can also manage a corporate business. You know, because a corporate business is just a multiplication of small scale business. I'm telling you the truth. So it's the same basic principle. So that's the reason why I decided to be doing this. You know, I know God has taken me through a lot. I've passed through a lot. You know, I've had a lot of experiences. You know, I've had a lot of, you know, heartbreaks. I have a lot of, you know, breakdown. A lot of different. But at the time, you know, I was asking myself, why me? But I know better now. It was part of God cooking up a story for me, you know, because people buy story. Do you understand? People buy story. So it was God cooking up a story for me, and it's my story that I'm using to do whatever I'm doing today. You know, I hope you've learned one or two things today. I'll be doing this once in a while. It's gonna be like a free talk. I just want to talk. I want to make life easy for people. You know, as God is making life easy for me, I want to make it easy for people. Some people also made life easy for me. You know, I also want to see how I can make life easy for people. So I'll be stopping very soon. In case you have any question that you want to ask, feel free to ask. If you think there's a better way I can do this, you know, to make life easy. I was talking to somebody. I said, look, you know, I have stuff that I want to put in teenagers' hands. I'm seeing how I can reach out to teenagers. For some time now, I've been buying a lot of books, you know, on how to communicate with teenagers, how to communicate with kids, because I see them as the future, you know. The adults, I'm sad to say, no apology, they have disappointed us, they have failed us, you know. The younger ones now, or the youths, they're turning things upside down. But I think the people that are receptive to knowledge, that are embracing knowledge, are just the kids and the teenagers. You know, if we're able to catch them young, you know, and put these things in them, I'm very sure they will run with it. So that's why for some time now I've been reading books, you know, and I've been thinking, you know, I've been interacting with people to see how I can put this thing that God has put in my DNA, how I can transfer it to a lot of youth, to a lot of teenagers. You know, it's very simple. Teach them values, teach them how to do business, teach them how to relate with people. You know, show them example, be a role model, be a mentor. That's what I want to do. You know, if you have access to children, to teenagers, and then you want me to talk to them, you know, I'm available, but you just let me know on time, because I have stories, I have examples, you know, I have testimonies, you know, I have experiences that I can share with them, you know, and I have words that I will speak that I believe that can change, just one word, you know, that can change their life, and that can transform them, you know, so that they will not be thinking like, you know, let me not go there. You know, I'm trying so hard not to talk about politics, you know, but I just want to restrict myself to, let's talk about business, let's talk about life, let's talk about relationship. You know, life is easy, business is easy, relationship is easy, but we are the one that's trying to make it difficult. Don't allow people make it difficult. It's easy, it's very simple, very, very simple. I'm telling you, it's very simple. Making money is easy. Create values, just create value for people. You know, having power is easy. Just give glory to God. He's the one that will give you power. You know, being happy in life, being joyful in life is easy. Just make people happy. Be a blesser, be a giver. You know, give to people, share what you have, you know, and you'll discover that you will go far. It's very easy. It's very easy. Life is easy. You know, it's easy. I know somebody will say, look, it's very easy for you because things are working out for you. But the truth is that you have to pass through the process. You can't run away from the process. Even if they give you all the money in the world today, you also need understanding. You also need the know-how on how to maintain that money. If you don't know the know-how, the money will go. Do you understand? So you also need to pass the process. You know, like I tell people, I said, look, everybody, the rich, they also cry. They also cry. There's what they call physical problem. There's what they call emotional problem. There's what they call spiritual problem. The rich people might not pass through physical problems. They have emotional problems. They also have spiritual problems. You know. But I tell you, physical problem is even easier than emotional and spiritual problem. Because if you have physical problem, people will say it and they will help you. You know, but if you have emotional problem, you have spiritual problem, you know, in this part of the country, we like hiding our problems. We like to hide it. People will know you will be suffering in silence. You can see somebody that is suffering. That's why the Bible said, you have the poor with you. You know, you can always take care of them. But people who have spiritual, emotional problems, they hide it, they cover it. Do you understand?